All right, Aaron Pico back on the show. He'll be back in the Bellator cage November 12th. He's going to take on John DeJesus at Bellator 242. Aaron, good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, Mike. How's everything?
Everything's great, man. Should be an exciting matchup on November 12th, and we'll get into that in a moment. But your last fight against Solo Hatley Jr. at Bellator 242, this was the performance everyone seemed to be waiting for from you, man. You took him down, you beat him up, you submitted him quickly. It was the first submission win of your career. Did it feel any different compared to all the highlight reel knockouts? Was it a little more, self-serving for yourself that finally got that submission win?
Yeah, it was a good win for me and for my team. But at the end of the day, I just went out there and did my job. That was the most important thing, just go out there and win. I'm not really putting too much pressure on myself that I have to go in there and put this spectacular knockout. At the end of the day, the most important thing is for me to win, and that's something that my coaches and I have really put in my head, that just slow things down and get the win. Of course, I'm always going to be exciting. That's just kind of in wrestling. I've always been exciting in boxing and stuff, so I'll always be exciting. But I'm going to be looking for any way that I can win and go home with no scratches on my face is a good night. So that's ultimately what was the most important thing. I got the win in 2 minutes, and I got to go home and not a trip to the hospital or waking up, or you know what I mean. It was a good night.
We've seen the KO power Aaron Pico, the oh crap highlight reel over Twitter Aaron Pico finishes, but I feel like that performance over all the other ones opened up more eyes than any of them, and I think you put a lot of people in your division on notice. I know that's not necessarily your overall concern, but do you feel the same way? Do you feel like you opened up some eyes this time around?
I think so. I think even with my losses and things like that, the division still knows that I'm a big threat, and I've just grown as a martial artist, as a person. The time that I've been here in New Mexico, the thing is, I just need time to become a good fighter, and I'm really growing as a person in the gym and ultimately inside the cage. But I think the people that are in the division know that I can beat all those guys. I definitely can beat all of them, and especially the things that I'm learning now with Coach Greg and then the coaches at JW. I'll fight anybody in the world. So I'm ready to go. But yeah, definitely the weight class is on notice for sure.
Is it fair to say that this is the most? I don't know if confident is the right word, because you have a ton of confidence in your team and in your coaches with everything that you're saying, but maybe comfortable is a better word. Is this the most comfortable you've been in your career to this point, with the ups and the downs, and now the way back up, it seems to look a little bit different?
Yeah, I really am. I am comfortable. I still keep that little bit of a nervousness inside of me, because that's good. I think the biggest thing for me now is Coach Greg calls it's a calm intensity. That's what I have in me right now. I'm calm, but I'm still gonna have my intensity. I just don't think before just things weren't in order like they are now. Now I have a really good communication with the coaches, and we have a clear path to what we want to do and how we want to grow as martial artists. And I'm just at a good place mentally. I'm at a good place in my life, and I'm excited to go in there in the cage and fight. And when you have that calmness and everything just seems to be flowing, it makes it a lot. I shouldn't say easier, because that's not the word, but it makes it a lot more at ease going into the cage. Everything, everything just seems to be flowing well. So
a little more free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not good with my words sometimes, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty powerful feeling, man, because I mean, coming in and the pressures you had to deal with early on in your career, not that you necessarily shied away from those pressures, but still, I mean, you have to feel those at some point. And now, yeah, you got some pressure still upon you. Your name still holds a lot of value, but it's a little bit different feeling than it was than, say, like the Zach Freeman fight and moving on from that, right?
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, those. For me, it's just freeing knowing that I trust everything that my coaches say. There's no doubt in my mind going into a fight. I'm just using an example. If they say throw a spinning heel kick, I'll throw it. Anything that they have for me, and I trust them with their commands and things, it's good. And everything just seems to be flowing well for me. My manager, Ali, I feel very, very confident with him. And my coaches, I feel very free. I'm at a good place in my life right now. I really am.
What have these last couple months been like before you got word about this matchup? Because it'll be about a 4-month stretch between fights. You'll be able to get 3 in 2020, which is crazy during a chaotic year. What have these last couple months been like for you?
They've been good, honestly. For me, I'm always in the gym training. Right after my last fight, it was, I took a little bit of time off, a couple of weeks. We just bought a house, so I was busy doing that, getting settled in. But for the most part, I'm always in the gym. I don't really do much with my life other than ride my horse and train. I really want to be good as a fighter, and there's not really much time for playtime for me. I'm not at that stage of my life right now. I'm really, really trying to become one of the greatest fighters that walks this planet, and that requires a lot of time in the gym. So that's pretty much that's all my time is in the gym, home training, or home relaxing with my horses, and back at the gym, sleeping, doing it all over again. My life is not really anything spectacular other than just training and horses.
I have to ask because our producer, Casey Leydon, who would normally be on this call, but he's doing a different show right now, shared some photos with me. You guys were rolling on the mats a little bit a couple months ago at JW. He looked like he got hit by a truck in a couple of those photos, but you got to roll with Casey. How was Casey on the mats? Did he give you fits? Did he give you that quality work that you needed?
That's cool. So you do this with Casey?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but yeah, we had so much fun. Honestly, he came down to Albuquerque. We went on some hikes. He rode my horse actually, him and Esther. So it was fun. But yeah, we got to roll, and he was really pushing the pace. We had some good. We were doing 5-minute. We did like 5-minute rounds. So he hung in there, and it was good. But overall, we had a great time in Albuquerque. They're great people. So I can't wait for them to come back to Albuquerque. We really enjoyed ourselves. But that's awesome. I didn't know that you guys did this together. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell him I said hello. Hi, Casey.
I will. Yeah, he says hello too, and he says he can't wait to ride horses with you again. Maybe by the end of the year, but. You need that work sometimes with a guy like Casey as you prepare to face John DeJesus, who's been in the game for a little while now. Very scrappy guy out of Pittsburgh. Trains and works with Kama Worthy over at the academy out there. Tough guy. He's won his last 3 fights. Did you know much about John when the matchup was offered to you?
No, honestly I didn't know much about him, but I definitely know a lot about him now. I've watched all kinds of video on him. All my coaches have been studying him to the T. So yeah, very, very tough opponent. And we're excited. I'm very excited to fight guys like this because, he does a lot of flying stuff and, flying knees and crazy stuff. And that's something that I want to see in the cage. But, yeah, he's very, very tough. I didn't really know of him before, but I've watched so much tape on him. I've studied everything about him. So I'm excited to go in there and fight. I really, really am, to push the pace on him. I don't think that he's ever fought a guy that has a gas tank like me, that has wrestling like me, that has power, and ultimately has the coaching like I do. He probably has good coaches back then, but he doesn't have coaches like me. So we're ready to fight. I really am.
So you go from Daniel Carey to Solo Hatley Jr., both pretty game up-and-comers. They're both 10-fight vets when you stepped in there. And now Bellator matches you up with the veteran over 20 fights, a grinder, like you said, very exciting on the feet. And personally, I followed John a little bit. I think this matchmaking is absolutely perfect. I feel like this is a really good next step for you. I mean, do you agree with that? Like, through your watching of the footage and everything, can you draw that conclusion that this is like a really good next step for you?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like I fought like Lee Morrison. I was 19-8 when I was early on in my career. I fought like Leandro Higo. I fought very, very tough. I fought Borks. I fought all my whole career. I fought guys on winning records, and I nearly didn't have the knowledge that I have now. I think he's a very, it's a good matchup for me. But I honestly, every fight that I go into, I feel it's a world championship fight because there's all the pressure is on me. And there's really not much pressure on him. So every single fight, I don't look at it as like, it's a good step up. No, this is legit fight. This is something that is, I don't take lightly. I take very, very serious. So, I'm really excited to go in there and share the cage with him, because he's a very, very good striker, and it's something I hope he throws flying stuff. I hope he throws spinning stuff. I really, really do. I'm excited for that, because I've been working on all kinds of great things with my coaches on that stuff. My ground game is good. My composure has gotten a lot better. You're not going to see me in those firefights and trying to, swing for the fences. You're going to see a very calculated, calm intensity Aaron Pico, and I'm gonna do everything that I possibly can to just chew his body up, kick his legs, take him down, elbow him in the eyes. I'm gonna make it very, very dirty. And I don't think that he's ever seen anything like that. I'm gonna make it a very, very dirty fight. I don't think he's gonna be able to even breathe after the first round, honestly.
Speaking of title fights, there is a title fight on this card. Patricio Pitbull is going to fight Pedro Carvalho. It's one of the Grand Prix fights. The title will be on the line, and I know you're taking a very patient approach to your career, but you want to get that gold wrapped around your waist at some point. Is there a part of you that's going to be motivated by the fact that there's going to be a title fight in your division headlining this card?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think I'm excited for the matchup. I think they're going to put on a great fight. Both of them are very strong competitors, but at the end of the day, there's a tournament that still is going on, so there's not really much for me, for me to fight. I'm not going to be fighting for a title anytime soon for obvious reasons of the tournament. So I think that fight is just going to be me after my fight in the hotel. It's going to be a great fight to watch just as a fan, so I'm excited for it. But yeah, it's anytime you get to see high-level guys fight, it's a good thing. But for me, the tournament's wrapped up. So the belt is wrapped up in the tournament. So, there's not really much for me to say other than it's going to be a fun, interesting fight.
So I know you've been watching a lot of tape on De Jesus, and I remember our last conversation. You're such a student of the game. You train, you watch fights, you train, you watch fights. Like, you enjoy just picking pieces of other people's games and being like, ooh, that was pretty badass. Like, I like that. Like, is there any fight or two that you've watched over the last month that you're like, ooh, this is a good one. I'm going to take some of these things for myself here.
What did I just? No, not really. Honestly, I watch a lot of fights. One fight I always watch a lot is like Conor and Khabib. I watch a lot of Usman, Valentina. I watch all kinds of stuff, but there's not really one. As of right now, I'm not watching as much film as I would like to. I've watched a lot of couple weeks just because I want to just focus on my skill set right now and not put in my head like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and GSP does this. I need to focus on myself and create my style. After the fight, I'm watching John De Jesus. I watch him a lot. I just because I got to prepare for him, and I want to see what his corner's calling out. What he throws when he's going back or when he gets stuff like that. But as of fighters, I'm not really watching all too much right now, just because I really want to focus on my style. Actually, I'm watching a lot of boxing right now just because I love boxing. So I was watching Manny Pacquiao all yesterday. So not too much MMA right now, just boxing.
There you go. Did you watch a JW legend, Carlos Condit, get back in the win column a couple weeks ago? That was pretty exciting, right?
I'm very happy for Carlos and Coach Gibson because, we trained a lot in his garage and it was just awesome to see Carlos get back on the winning track. It was a good night for Coach Gibson and Carlos. So I'm very, very happy for him. He's an awesome guy. I've rolled with him a few times. It's kind of weird because every time I see him, I'm like, man, that's Carlos Condit. He's like been in wars with like some legends in the game. He's I respect him. He's a samurai for sure.
You've talked about, having this career in MMA and being the student of the game and giving it everything you got. And you just turned 24 years old. So, you have a long way to go, but like when you're done fighting, have you thought about like what you want to do? Like, it seems like you may have thought about it at some point, but you're smack dab in the middle of your fighting career, but you have all, there's horses, you have all these things that you're interested in. You're kind of an introvert at the same time, but is there like something else that sticks out? Like once your fighting career is over, like I want to go to this next thing?
Honestly, after my fight career, I really want to just, I want to be tequilas, tacos, and horses. That's honestly what I really love to enjoy. I would want to start a taco business of some sort because I honestly, truly, truly love tacos. It's something that I eat every single day. I love tequila. I would love somehow, some way to start a little tequila business, and I want to start my breeding program with my horses. That's what I really want to breed, Spanish horses. Those are things that I'm very passionate about. I love the culture of the horses and tequila and tacos and good music. I like that, and I want to be surrounded by good horses and have kids and just enjoy life. I've been wrestling since I've been 4 years old, and it's been nonstop. So hopefully I have a long, healthy career, and I want to enjoy life after that, and do things that make me happy, and that's horses, and we'll see. But the most important thing for me is that none of that is really. I mean, it's still possible, but being a world champion in MMA is a gateway to lead to those to have a bigger name, to meet people in those industries, and ultimately work together. So the most important thing for me is to be world champion. That's the priority right now. Be world champion, and most of all, defend it as many times as I can my body will handle.
What's the underrated taco topping that like everybody should have and doesn't necessarily use?
Yeah, well, it all depends on like what type of taco, but honestly, I just go with salsa. It's going to sound kind of funny, but I put sour cream on mine. I just started doing that, but it depends on where you get your tacos from. Like if you're like in Mexico, you just, salsa, you're good. But I love tacos. Like the tacos beer make me very, very happy. So I want to start later down the road, a little taco stand. Shit, I'll start with a little taco trailer, and go from there. But yeah, that's something that makes me happy. I love
tacos, man. My kid loves tacos. Taco Tuesday. I think you post something on Instagram. It's Taco Tuesday every day in your house. So
yeah, I eat them every single day. It's like people ask, like that's the staple in my diet is tacos. So my girlfriend is like constantly making tortillas and tacos every day. So hopefully one day we can make a little restaurant and kill it with the tacos.
There you go. I know you fight for Bellator, but you are part of the same management team as Khabib, as Justin Gaethje, and of course they're fighting next weekend. Who do you like in that fight? Or at least like, what are you looking for when these two throw down next weekend if you don't want to make a pick? And I would understand why, but you know what I mean? Like, what are you looking for in that fight?
Well, I think that's the obvious is if Khabib needs to get him down and Justin needs to keep it on the feet. I love them both. I think they're great guys, but I really think that Khabib is going to overwhelm him on the ground. But I could be one thing that I've learned is MMA is a different beast. Anything can happen in there. You can be expected to win and you get clipped with something crazy. So it's MMA, but if I had to pick, if I had $1 million and I needed to pick up a person, I would pick Khabib. But I'm happy for both of them. They're both legends, so it's going to be an interesting fight. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm fired up for this one. I think I'm looking forward to this fight more than anything else this entire year. By the way, you got your fight on November 12th. New broadcasting platform for Bellator. We're on CBS Sports now. How excited are you for this new platform, the new network, and then like the potential that could come from these relationships and partnerships for Bellator? They've dove into the kickboxing world. Now Showtime's kind of partnering up with them in some different ways. Maybe there's some boxing opportunities down the road. Like, how excited are you for this new relationship here?
I think it's very, very good for the sport, for Bellator. Bigger audience, people get to boxing. That's something that I really, really want to do. In between fights, if I have like a month or two to just go and train boxing, I'd love to get a boxing fight in if it's any way possible. I would love to do that. So yeah, it's great for for Bellator and things like that. But my most important thing for me is just be prepared for November 12th and just keep growing as a fighter. But I'm excited. I really want to get a boxing fight in. That would be awesome if they can throw me in on a card. I don't know how Ali would have to talk to Bellator, but I can box. I definitely can box. So I'll be asking Ali if there's any opportunities for me to step in the ring, because I definitely would do it.